Welcome back to Mega Stadiums. Today, we turn our attention to Manchester, where one of the most ambitious stadium projects in English football is reshaping the home of Manchester City. The Etihad Stadium, already one of the country's most modern arenas, is undergoing a dramatic transformation that will push its capacity, facilities, and fan experience to new heights. But to understand the scale of this latest expansion, we need to trace the journey from Manchester City's earliest homes, through the Maine Road years, to the Commonwealth Games legacy that gave birth to the Etihad, and the first South Stand expansion that set the tone for what was to come. This is the story of how a football club and its stadium have grown side by side, and how the Etihad is becoming a true landmark of modern football. Let's go. Manchester City's home grounds have evolved dramatically since the club's 19th century beginnings. The journey began in 1887 when the then Ardwick Football Club settled at Hyde Road in Ardwick. This modest venue was gradually developed into a 40,000 capacity arena, even hosting 1904 FA Cup semifinals. However, a devastating fire in 1920 gutted Hyde Road's main stand and destroyed many records. With the old ground unsafe and no room for major expansion, the club moved in 1923 to a newly built stadium at Maine Road in Moss Side. Maine Road became City's home for the next 8 decades, opening in August 1923 before a crowd of over 58,000. During the Maine Road era, City shared their home with neighbors Manchester United under extraordinary circumstances. After German bombing in March 1941 severely damaged Old Trafford, United's ground was unusable for several years. So from 1941 until Old Trafford's rebuild in 1949, United paid City to stage their home matches at Maine Road. Through the mid-20th century, Maine Road was gradually modernized. Floodlights were added in 1953, and the famous Kippax stand was built in the 1960s to house City's most vocal supporters. Nonetheless, by the late 20th century, Maine Road was aging and City's owners began planning for a new, larger stadium. In 2003, Manchester City bid farewell to Maine Road and moved to a purpose-built stadium on the city's Eastland site. This new venue had been constructed for the 2002 Commonwealth Games and was originally designed as an athletics arena with a single tier of seating around a running track. After the Games ended, Manchester City agreed a 250-year lease with the City Council to take over the venue and invested heavily to convert it into a football stadium. Construction company Lang had already spent about £112 million building the stadium's distinctive cable-stayed roof and infrastructure. City contributed around £20 million to add corporate boxes, bars, and restaurants, while the council spent roughly £22 million removing the athletics track and reconfiguring the stands. The conversion lifted capacity from the 38,000 spectators of the games up to roughly 48,000 seats for football matches. The stadium opened for the 2003-04 season as the City of Manchester Stadium. The first fans through the turnstiles were greeted by the huge blue bowl and its 12 white steel masts, which quickly became a symbol of City's new era. However, on-field success did not immediately follow the move. The team's initial seasons at Eastlands were challenging. City largely finished in mid-table positions as the club fought just to remain in the Premier League. The club's fortunes took a decisive turn only after the summer of 2008, when Sheikh Mansour purchased Manchester City. By then, the new stadium had become firmly established as City's home, just as the old Maine Road had been for decades. In the years after the move, several changes were made to cement City's control of the stadium. Under the original deal, the City Council retained naming rights. In 2010, the club renegotiated its lease to obtain those rights. In exchange, it agreed to raise its rental payments to the council significantly. This allowed Manchester City to rebrand the venue Etihad Stadium in a 10-year sponsorship deal with Etihad Airways from 2011 onwards. Although the Etihad's initial seating was about 48,000, City's long-term vision was to expand capacity and facilities. The club routinely sold out most matches, and the stadium even hosted England internationals and rugby events. By the mid-2010s, city officials began working on a plan to grow the stadium further, while transforming the Etihad campus into an entertainment destination around the football ground. Manchester City's first major stadium expansion came in the summer of 2015. As winners of the Premier League in 2012 and 2014, the club decided to add a third tier to the South Stand, instantly raising the stadium's capacity by 7,000 seats. This project brought the Etihad's total seating to about 55,000 and was ready in time for the 2015-16 season. The conversion again required extending the concrete frame and rebuilding the roof over the expanded stand. At the same time, City improved the hospitality lounges and fan concourses throughout the stadium to enhance the matchday experience. The South Stand expansion also coincided with the club celebrating its legends through public art. Around the Etihad, fans can now find striking bronze statues of Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany, and David Silva, each frozen in a moment that defines City's modern golden era. Nearby, another sculpture pays tribute to the club's iconic trio of Colin Bell, Francis Lee, and Mike Summerbee, recalling the glory years of the 1960s and 70s. These tributes, proudly positioned around the stadium, symbolize Manchester City's respect for its past, even as it continues to build toward the future. By 2016, after the South Stand edition, the Etihad was firmly among England's largest football grounds, the sixth largest in the Premier League, offering one of the best viewing experiences in the country. Building on that success, Manchester City began an even more ambitious expansion in 2023. In April 2023, the club submitted detailed plans to extend the North Stand with a completely new structure. Unlike the tripartite design of the South Stand, the new North Stand will have two very high tiers topped by a sweeping roof. This will add roughly 7,000 seats to the stadium, bringing capacity to above 61,000. If achieved, it will make the Etihad the fourth largest stadium in the Premier League, similar in capacity to Arsenal's Emirates, Tottenham Hotspur's New Ground, and Liverpool's Anfield. The expanded North Stand is being designed with modern supporters in mind. Notably, at least 3,000 seats will be rail seats, enabling a safe standing area during matches. Throughout the stand, City will dedicate many seats to younger fans. A significant allocation of tickets is being ring-fenced for supporters under 21. Inside, level 1 of the stand will feature new breakout lounges, religious prayer rooms, and alcohol-free zones, acknowledging the diverse needs of the fan base. To enhance the matchday atmosphere, a new 500-seat covered food hall and a 300-person premium bar are planned within the stand, and a rooftop sky bar will overlook the pitch for hospitality guests. Outside the North Stand, a new City Square fan area is being created. This is a covered 3,000 capacity fan park that will sit between the stadium and the new Co-op Live Arena. The City Square will host pre- and post-match events with outdoor terraces and screens to bring fans together. Alongside this, the expansion includes entirely new buildings for the Manchester City experience, a club museum and interactive fan center, as well as a modern club shop. Above the stand will rise a 400-room premium hotel, one of Manchester's largest hotels, directly overlooking the stadium. The hotel will not only provide matchday packages for supporters, but also allow non-football guests to stay within the Etihad campus complex. Financially, the North Stand project dwarfs City's earlier investments. At approximately £300 million, the expansion costs roughly 3 times what was spent constructing the original Commonwealth Games stadium. The club argues that this investment will be repaid through higher matchday revenues. Currently, City's matchday income is on the order of £75 million per year. With the expanded capacity and new premium facilities, projections suggest it could rise toward £100 million. As of mid-2025, work is well underway. The steel skeleton of the new North Stand is being assembled piece by piece, and fans can already glimpse the future skybar area rising above the old roofline. Construction, which began in mid-2023, is moving quickly, and the North Stand itself is expected to open at some point during the current season, allowing supporters to experience the expanded capacity much sooner. The wider development, including the hotel, fan zone, and leisure facilities, will then follow, with full completion targeted for late 2026. City's management has described this £300 million project as a transformation of the Etihad into a best-in-class fan experience and year-round entertainment and leisure destination. The Etihad Stadium's evolution from its Commonwealth Games origins to a mega football complex mirrors Manchester City's rise. What began as a 38,000-seat arena with an athletics track has become a 60,000-seat, multi-tiered football fortress with bars, lounges, a hotel, fan zones, and a museum. The story of its expansion is one of ongoing ambition. City once again proved ready to invest heavily in infrastructure, honor its history with statues of club legends, and push the boundaries of what a football stadium can offer. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Etihad, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more stadium stories, and let us know in the comments which ground you want us to cover next. Thanks for watching. See you next week.